Through the film, I was working on another movie at the time and very much focused on that and not wanting my attention to sway. And I got a call that was like, you know, this is a really big deal, and I know that you're focused right now, but you really have to read this. And I did, and I really, it really said something to me. It really like stirred something up in me, and I auditioned for the role very conventionally, and I got it, and I was really, really lucky for that.
I read the book while I was on set a few months prior, actually, and I didn't even know it was going to be made into a movie. And then, you know, when it did, I mean, when I read the book, I knew that I wanted to play James. I mean, that was, you know, what connected or what struck with me. But then they actually hired me for the role of Emmett, and I said yes. I mean, of course, anything to be a part of that movie, you know. But I felt like I had to take that risk of, you know, losing the job or, you know, anything. I just had to put myself out there, or I knew one day it would come back and, you know, just haunt me. So at least I had to try. So, you know, I talked to Catherine, and she actually gave me this opportunity, and, you know, thank God.
I play Bella, who is the character that you basically see the story through. In the book, it's a first-person narrative. Everything is what she's saying. She tells the story. And she's, in the beginning of the film, moves to a new town, and is never really been accepted anywhere else. Always been a bit of an outsider. And for some reason, people are, like, taking an interest in her, and she feels that there's nothing special about her at all, and it's just like the town is weird, like something weird is going on. And then she meets this vampire. She doesn't know he's a vampire, but there's literally like a physiological need, like it's instantaneous, like physical attraction, emotional attraction. It's just like mind-boggling. And she really wouldn't be one to give in to something like that, but it's so overpowering and so beyond her that she's driven to basically die for it. She would do anything for it. So she really trusts herself. She's a strong character, and yet very, very naive.
I play James, and I am one of the quote-unquote bad vampires, or baddies. I think they're called baddies. Yeah. So I hunt humans basically, and then I come to this world in Washington where they don't. This family of vampires, they're actually living like humans, which is a betrayal to me, you know, in my eyes, that they're not being truthful to who they actually are, you know. And then I see Edward, who's actually even taking it one step further and falling in love with a human. Which is, you know, something that you don't do. Being that we're immortal, you don't do it. You know, you'd have to deal with these people, this loss over and over, and be so heartbroken, which they've all gone through. And so it's this, you know, it becomes an obsession basically. So now I have to figure out why he's doing this and what's making him take that risk, and, you know, being that it's Bella, and so I have to figure out why they are all doing this, and, you know, I don't understand it. It's something that scares me, and so I just have to destroy it, and so that becomes my new goal, and so I don't even try really to understand, or we don't sit down and have a cup of coffee and kind of, you know, go over everything.
Having my face next to that slogan on the Twilight poster. Oh, God, that's like such an impossible question. I mean, if you had to live forever, I think it would be impossible to live without something that, or someone. It's someone, yeah, someone that you're living for. I mean, we're pack animals, and we have mates. That's like fundamentally who we are. So probably the same thing that Edward and Bella would live for, which is each other.
Which is, you know, it's still, and to know that you are going to live forever, and you know, if someone else doesn't, you know, it's that question that they ask a lot. In this movie, why would you fall in love with anyone? Why would you live for anything? Really, there is no point if at the end of the day it's going to end. So I would not like to. I would pass on living forever.
When I auditioned and subsequently got the part, I didn't know that it was such a famous book. I thought that it was sort of like a little cult. I mean, first of all, I never even heard of the book, and then I read it, and everybody was telling me what a big deal it was. And I was like, oh, cool, so we have like a really devoted, exclusive fan base. And it turned out to be not so exclusive. And it's good because I'm so used to doing movies that nobody sees, that in this case you work so hard on something and, you know, it's going to reach people, which is why we do what we do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I read the book a few months prior to being booked in the movie, and you know, I initially had that connection with James, but then when I auditioned, they actually hired me for the role of Emmett, and I said yes, just to be a part of the movie, you know. But then after a week or so, I just, you know, I knew that at the end of the day I would be disappointed in myself if I didn't go for that role that I really connected with. So I talked to Catherine, and you know, she gave me the opportunity to play James. And I mean, even though I read the book, I did not know how intense the fans were. And so, you know, I think we all did. We all kind of like, you know, went and got as much information and as many opinions from, you know, the web and anything like that. And, you know, you tend to believe the criticisms more so than the compliments. So I just kind of had to let it go and, you know, just, you know, prepare like any other movie and, you know, focus on what we're doing. So
lived with the book. Literally just read it and read it and read it and read it. Physically, I wanted to look a little bit more, and I don't know if this came across, but look a little bit more innocent and younger. In the book, she has brown eyes, which isn't that big of a deal, but once we put them in, it really made me look much more like doe-eyed somehow. And I have like long hair, which sort of for me was like, you know, she's very untouched. She never cut her hair. I mean, since she was a little girl, she had this long hair. And me and Rob had 3 weeks pre-production in which, you know, in the days they filled our days with like baseball practice and all of this sort of superfluous. The work that we got done happened at night with the book and the script and just living it.
Yeah. I kind of loved actually having a book to, you know, because vampires and you know, young love stories and, you know, just like that classic love story is, there's a lot of cliches there or yeah, just cliches. And so, you know, having this book was kind of, we didn't have to go to any other movies, we didn't have to go to any other information because it was all kind of right there, and a lot of the work went into just the relationships and the why, answering that why of why we do what we do. And, you know, and then there's like these physical things where we, you know, we're watching videos of cats, you know, and how they move just with their sheer power, and, you know, dance choreography, which, you know, I would like to hurt someone, whoever decided that.
Which I have.
Dancing is not good. Mine, at least.
I love Interview with a Vampire. And it's sort of, I mean, it's a little similar to what we're doing because it deals with not just the vampires as the villains, but it deals with, like, how they live their lives and how hard it is for them. And I love that movie. It's, like, one of my favorite movies.
You know, the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, I don't know if it really gets much better than that, for me at least. It was, and then of course Twilight, but Twilight's
our
of course, and that original, there's just, I don't know, there's just something to be said about original ideas, with any type of genre or anything like that. There's just, I don't know, there's just some creative imaginations there. It's just, it's amazing to watch someone create something new.